Hey there friends, it's your girl E, your favorite purple haired notary with notable moments, and I wanted to bring to you essentially a video regarding subscriptions, things that I use, softwares that I use for my notary business. And let's just jump right in. The first thing that I use is Adobe. So Adobe, what is it, Acrobat? I just call it Adobe, but I think it's actually like Acrobat. So I use Acrobat for when I scan the documents, they go, when I scan the documents, it's an Adobe file, an Acrobat file, and I subscribe to everything Adobe. So like the whole package that they have, I'm subscribed to, just because I think I've been subscribed to them for like the last 5 or 6 years, and I remember I think it was like $25, and for an extra $10 I can be subscribed to about 25 apps. So if you're just getting started, one, you're going to use Acrobat for your scans. Two, with paying for the paid version, you can compress files. So if the files are too large to send your scans over, you can compress them. And if they're still too large, because sometimes they are still too large to send over via email, you can then share a link. Yeah, so you'll hit like the little share button, and then you can send a link. It'll create a link for the scan file, and then you can send title. You can send, title, the attorneys, depending on who you're working with, you can send them a link to that scan file. That has been a game changer for me. I've been using that recently for the last like 2 years, realizing that that's something that I can do. But yeah, so they have so many different apps for Adobe. So if you're also like editing content, there's a video editor there. There's Photoshop if you're good with that. There's also one thing that I also use for my real estate business is Lightroom, for when I'm taking like photos of the apartments, because it doesn't keep the storage. I mean, it does take storage up off my phone, but not in my iCloud, if that makes sense. It has its own like cloud. So when I'm taking photos of apartments, houses, things like that, it's not included in like my iPhone storage. So that was a plus for me, because that's something that I use in my real estate business. So yeah, so I get to use all those apps for one price, and that is $37.31. I figured, why not spend the extra $17 and have access to all the other apps? So I get to always use the other apps. No, but when I need like to try and Photoshop something, I do go ahead and like try to do that. So yeah, so oh, and you can also combine files. That's one thing that I really like about doing it. When I first started, if you watch my scanner video, before I had the big boy scanner, I had a scanner that I think maybe like scanned like 20 pages at a time. And I was doing Old Republic title closings, and those packages were so big, and I would have to send like 4 different scans at a time, and that just, it didn't look great. But even if you're in that situation, you can then add all 4 files together, add them all together to just be one scan. So if you're someone who might not have the money yet for your big girl scanner, then you can use the Acrobat to merge all of the files, all of the scans together into one file, so that it just looks professional and neat. So yeah, so if that would help you and help with, like, of course, like I said, cost of buying an expensive scanner, I think that can be useful to you, because it was useful to me at the time. I just needed to kick it up with the time, with the amount of closings that I had, so I had to switch to the big girl scanner super quick. But if you're just starting out, I think that can be a good idea and useful to you. The next subscription that I use, this isn't something that's paid for, but it's a profile that I have, and it's Notary Rotary. Somebody actually found me on Notary Rotary the other day. I don't get too many calls, but it's just one of those things that you should sign up for, because anytime someone may be looking for a notary, it's something that it's a platform that they may use to find you. I legit got a call on Friday because someone found me on Notary Rotary. I had my nephew this week, so I wasn't available to do the closing. We went to go we went to the movies to see Weapons, but that's not what this is about. And so I wasn't available, but I was able to refer a fellow notary buddy to do the closing instead. But Notary Rotary has, if you don't already know this, I hope you do, but if you're new and you don't already know this and you are looking to get into closings and you do not have your big girl printer yet, and that's your dual tray printer, and you started out with a single tray. In my car, I only have a single tray, so this is definitely useful. You don't have your dual tray yet, this is the page separator. So I'll probably show what that looks like, but they have a page separator that separates your legal and letter size pages. So then you can just print all your letter size pages and then print your legal size pages. Of course, this can take long if you got back-to-back closings, things like that, because now you have to put the package back together. But again, this is something that can help you if affordability and getting, like I said, the more expensive equipment. This is something that can help, you know, save you some money in the beginning. But I always say this, if you don't have the money for starting out as a loan closer, I definitely think don't sleep on your general notary work. General notary work makes more money, less time. I will continue to say that, which is why I'm pivoting my business. Anywho, so yes, I love Notary Rotary. Like, the page separator has saved the day, especially because the MacBook, if you're using your MacBook or just Mac products, I have not been successful with getting it to work right with the brother printer. So even now, in my experience, I still need to do that. I do have a PC, which I need to get that set up for printing, but I got a little Surface Pro to help with that. But whatever, that definitely, like I said, I love having it, I love using it, but the Notary Rotary definitely helps, especially if I'm printing with the single tray in the car when I'm on the go. But so far, that has been for emergencies only, and I've only used it like twice on the go since I've had it. But now I have access to be able to print on the go. Next subscription that I have is QuickBooks. Now, QuickBooks I use for invoices and, of course, keeping track of monies and taxes and all of that stuff. Like, QuickBooks is really good about doing that. And when I have to invoice people, I do like that they have a feature that someone can pay online, so you know they can put in a little card and just pay. But I use a lot of different things. I'm not sure if I've been using QuickBooks for like 5 years. I think I want to lean towards something else at the moment, but it is something that I use to send out invoices, and it can send it, like, email it directly, and also have a payment link just for like easier and smooth payments. But for closings, they're usually sending you checks anyway, so that feature like seems useless as far as like QuickBooks go. And then even for like my general notary work, they usually they do pay on my website anyway, but it does keep track of the money, the money that's going in and out of my accounts. So that's another reason why I'm still kind of using it, because I don't know what else to use at the moment. But that's $25. The next thing that I use that I subscribe to is Blue Notary. I am also a remote online notary in the state of New Jersey, and I have Blue Notary. It's $25 a month. Overall, it's free. You don't have to pay. I use the paid version not because they give business, essentially, because it pays shit. It's like $5. I think closings are $25, but it's really hard to catch. Like, it basically pops up and it's already gone. I do a lot of administrative work. I'm at my computer pretty often. Like, Mondays are my admin days, so I am essentially sitting at the computer almost all day if I don't have appointments in the afternoon, and I can click it as soon as it pop up and it's already gone. The competition on that, like, no. So it's not for that purpose. It's strictly so that I can have my clients, I can invoice my clients outside of the platform. So they charge me, and then I charge my clients, and they pay outside of the platform because, like I said, they book me online. And then it also varies on what they are getting notarized. So I want to be able to invoice outside of the platform. Right now, I don't feel like the $25 is super worth it. If you're looking to try to like catch business, I've only done like 3 of them. So even in my first month of like sitting there trying to catch those notary appointments online, I only caught 3, and it didn't pay for itself because 3 times 5 is 15. So it didn't necessarily pay for itself. But anytime I do about maybe like 1 or 2 remote closings, I would love for that to pick up. But I do like 1 or 2, not closings, 1 or 2 remote like notary appointments. So just being able to invoice outside the platform, of course, it then pays for itself in that regard. And I also am a member of Proof, but that's free also for remote notary purposes. I am also part of Proof, and I don't have to pay anything for that. I know in different states, I think that you can pay for like premium, but I don't think that's something that's available in Jersey. So if you're in a different state, I think like Texas is one of those states, you can look into that, but I know nothing of the sort, and I don't like to speak on things that I don't know. Next thing that I subscribe to is our favorite friend, AI, ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a recent subscription of mine, simply just because I'm using it for everything. I also do field inspections and the reports. I essentially will just blurt out my thoughts and have ChatGPT like clean it up for me, like clean up my report for me. Essentially, I'll have it do that. Of course, do things like help me write bios, copy, captions for my social media posts, Instagram, YouTube. I help it, like it helps me do all of those things, like that I said, mention bios, all of those things. And you only have a certain amount of things, questions, tasks that you can give it before it runs out on the free version. So because I use it so frequently, I decided to upgrade, and I paid $20 a month for that on ChatGPT. My next subscription is Canva, your girl, and I've been using this Canva before I became a notary. In my former life, I was a teacher, I was an educator, and during COVID, we had to make so many signs, making 6 feet apart, social distancing, washing your hands, and we needed to make sure that the kids had visuals. So I would create posters, signs, little stickies to stick on the floor, all of those things for the children, for the school. And I've been using Canva ever since then. Obviously, now that I am a business owner, I use it for making my posters, cards, flyers, business cards, all of those things, my thumbnails. I use it to remove the backgrounds of my photos, everything like that, anything content. Like Canva helps me do it, which they also have Canva also has built-in AI. I think everything almost has built-in AI now. But yes, I love Canva to death. It's one of my favorite tools. Like I said, I've had it before I even became a business owner. So even if you're a teacher watching this, maybe thinking about becoming a notary, I'm sure you're already subscribed to Canva. If you're not, you definitely should. Oh, that was another thing that I used it for prior to becoming a business owner, is there's something called Teachers Pay Teachers, where you can sell your content as a teacher that you create. So I was creating content for my students. I taught special needs, and there was just a lot of things that I couldn't find that was geared towards like the lessons, so I had to make them myself. And Canva really helped me do that, like math projects, writing projects, things like that. Canva's that girl. So we really like Canva. Another thing that I am subscribed to is Notary Gadget. Notary Gadget keeps track of your closings, your signings. My general notary work, I am booked on my website. It's plopped on there. They're paid already. But for real estate closings still feels like very old school. They give you a call, see if you're available, and then send you all the things. So I'll have to enter the data, the information, where's the closing, the time, yada yada. So it keeps tracks of your closings, your notary appointments. Right now I just kind of like use it for closings, and it has invoicing, so you don't necessarily need QuickBooks if you don't want, because Notary Gadget will keep track of that for you, like your mileage. QuickBooks also will, like with the app, like we'll see like where you're going, and you can label like what it was, so it keeps better track of your mileage, whereas like Notary Rotary be more of like an estimate, right? It's gonna, hey, you went here to the closing and then like you dropped it off back home. You can add stops now, like you stopped at a FedEx or UPS, but when you're out in so many different locations, I'm not going to remember that random like FedEx that I went to that I don't usually go to. But with the QuickBooks and you have the app on your phone, you can mark each place that you went to. But yes, and it also tracks like how many, what's the word that I'm looking for, notarizations you've done. So you can keep that, like how many notarizations were in like a specific like closing appointment. You can keep track of all of those things. Super cute. I'll insert it here if you don't know what that is. There are other platforms. I just found Notary Gadget to work for me the best, but I'm always looking to try something new. But I've been using that for 5 years. And what else? This is free. Your FedEx and UPS, you can sign up, create free business accounts so you can order supplies. Yes, so that's free 99, and you can get your shipping packs such as, so you can get your poly packs. I only use, I know I ordered 2, so I ordered 100 of these. I only use the poly packs, and this is the like little label holder situation. And FedEx is the same. I don't go, most of the companies that work with me really use UPS the most. So FedEx, I've had some of those supplies in there for about like 3 years, and I'm barely making a dent in them because usually I'm getting a UPS label. And I think UPS for me is more accessible as far as like Jersey City, the area that I primarily service. In my county, there's more like access to UPS than FedEx. I don't know if people know that, and maybe that's why, but I really don't like when I get something that's FedEx. And I'm in Hudson County because there are only 2 FedExes in the whole county, and they're basically in the same area. It's not in the same city, but they're not, I think they're only like 10 minutes apart. Hudson County is so big, like we can probably use a FedEx in Bayonne, but whatever. And like I said, that's free 99, so get you some. And mentorship. So if you're new at this and you're looking for a mentor, I think mentorship is like very important. Of course, there's so many out there. I've bought courses from so many different people. So like, do your thing. See who resonates with you. Are they teaching something that you want to know? Be careful. Just because it's so easy to just put content out and like charge for it, and it's stuff that's very Googleable, stuff that you can find on YouTube University for free 99. So of course, like, make sure you're doing your due diligence and making sure that the people that you are choosing to be your mentor, buy courses from, are providing you like real value. For loan closings, because that's where I went into, I use Mark Will's, the loan signing system. That was the course that I used, and I was a part of that mentorship for about like 2 or 3 years, right? Not like 2 years. So I was a part of that mentorship for like 2 years. That's why I learned how to do closings. And if you're looking to teach you notary basics, at the time, that's not something that was taught. I just remember it being like, I'm not here to teach you how to be a notary. I'm here to teach you how to be a closer and make this bread, be a 6-figure like notary. I'm not sure what that looks like now to this day, so I'm not gonna speak on that, but make sure that you're, again, find someone that's in your price point, they're bringing you value. There's so many mentorships, courses out there. Currently, this is a new subscription for me because, like I said, I want to pivot outside of loan closings. Like, real estate game is very clicky, and for the most part, I keep saying, like, general notary work is, you get paid more money, less time, and I just want to pivot towards that. I don't want to be sitting here anymore waiting 3 hours, 4 hours for just for like my time like being spent. And because that too, you're not making $200 an hour, like, because I have to now wait for funding. If I take 45 minutes to close, scan, and now I'm waiting like 10 years. Like, I sat on a closing once where it was like getting there and leaving was like 3 to 4 hours. Funding took fucking forever, and I'm so over that. Like, I am really so over like having to wait for funding, because when you just look at the time spent doing everything, you go from 200, 250 an hour to now I'm making $40 an hour. Not great. No, I've doing general notary work, I've made $200, $100 in like 20 minutes. So yeah, no. So I'm saying all that to say, I just subscribed to high performance notary with, I'm not sure if it's more than these two people, Bill Soroka. If you're in the notary streets, you know who Bill Soroka is. Bill Soroka and Judy Lawrence. Judy Lawrence does the apostilles, and yeah, so I'm subscribed to that. And my battery is dying. That's $50 a month. And lastly is Byberg. Byberg. Dog started barking. Okay, like I said, the last thing before I have to go is Byberg. Byberg is my E&O insurance. It's $44 a month. It covers you for closings. Some people use the one from the NNA, and the NNA does not cover you as far as the notary who does. A notary who does closings. So yeah, those are the subscriptions that I use. It's very important that you have E&O insurance, whether you are a loan signing agent or not. You should have E&O insurance just in case, you know, any mishaps. But yes, I'll let you know about high performance notary. Like I said, I want to pivot outside of closings and really like hone in on doing other things notary, you know, other things notary, other, what's the word that I'm looking for, other niches, right, of notary work. And I want to like really focus and pivot there. So yes, anywho, I hope you found value in this video. Let me know if you have any questions, if you want to see things like how the page separator works, if you want to see how Acrobat works in the links, combining files. If you want to see tutorials on how to do that, please let me know in the comments. Like I said, I hope you found value. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and thank you for tuning in. Bye.